Hey everyone, welcome back to Encinas Unfiltered, your source for sports. Today is Season 2, Episode 1. Sorry it's been a little while. We need a little bit of downtime after the holidays. But we're back. We're going to keep things, there's some similarities, some differences. Football's now over, so we're going to be focusing more on boxing, MMA, interviews, but we're starting to talk about playoff football and whatnot. To those of you who already like to subscribe, we greatly appreciate you. And to those who not, please like, subscribe, and share our socials. You can check us out on YouTube and Spotify, and that's how you're going to watch or listen to our podcast, and that's at Encinas Unfiltered. And if you want to stay up to date on any of our podcast release dates, photos, or any upcoming scheduled interviews, check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Encinas Unfiltered. Also, if you want to see our Don't Be a Larry, which I think now we're going to be calling it Don't Be That Guy, for private reasons, we're going to switch that, but you can check that out on our TikTok. We're also going to be posting some of our controversial clips between Bevel and I, our bantering and stuff. So you'll kind of see a little bit of a transition there. So first things first, tomorrow is Beterbiev versus Smith. It's and the winner of that fight is supposed to fight Bivol, which is interesting because Bivol just came off of his win. So it'll be a title unification fight at the light heavyweight limit, which is 175 pounds. I do want to kind of go over the Michigan and Washington State game, college football playoffs, because I know we kind of missed that because we haven't filmed. So, and then we're going to get into a little bit of NFL playoff football betting. We're also going to do our parlay. And like I said earlier, for those of you who like our Don't Be Larry's and whatnot, that's going to be a little bit different now. And I'll kind of address that at the end. So, off the top though, thank you to Marshall's Woodfire Pizza, one of our very first sponsors, God Family Pizza. They do mobile woodfire pizza. You can catch them around the Central Valley. They're also very busy and they do a lot of catering. So if you definitely want to get them to come out to your events where they do weddings, birthday parties, like I greatly recommend it. And you can check them out on Instagram at Marshall's Woodfire Pizza. Or if you're following us on Instagram, you can check our bio and their link will be there. And also one of our first sponsors as well is Limo for You. If you need any kind of ride to the airport, for birthday parties, to Disneyland, to football games, they even drive out to Vegas or drive out to San Diego, you name it. You need any kind of limo, sprinter, party bus, they're one of the best in the Valley. So check them out. Their bio or their username is also in our bio. So let's get into that Beterbiev versus Smith card. So the reason why this fight is so big, besides the fact that the winner's fighting Bivol, is Beterbiev is 19-0 and 19 KOs. That guy has a 100% finish rate. And he's a little smaller. Cal Smith's like 6'3", Beterbiev's like 5'11". But they're fighting in Beterbiev's home of Canada. He was born in Russia, but his nationality is Canadian. And man, you can't get much better than 100% KO ratio. And Cal Smith, his only loss is to Canelo, which I think we saw. It was a unanimous decision. I was thinking he got knocked out, but no, it was a unanimous decision. 6'3". He's pretty tall. And he's 29-1 with 21 knockouts. So that should definitely be a really good fight. It's for the IBF, WBC, and WBO light heavyweight championships. And like I said, the winner is supposed to fight Bivol for a unification bout. And some of the odds on that, just really quickly, which I thought was kind of interesting. So Beterbiev is favored to win 1-5. And if you want to bet on Smith to win, it's a 7-2 payout. A draw is 15-1. Beterbiev to win by decision or technical decision is 11-2. Beterbiev to win by KO, TKO, or DQ is 4-9. Smith to win by decision or technical decision is 9-1. And Smith to win by KO, TKO, or DQ is 6-1. So for those of you who are bettors and want to check out those odds, go ahead, and that is what the odds are. Bebo, do you have anything to add?
19-0 and 19 KOs is pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, for sure. He beat Joe Smith Jr., Marcus Brown, Adam Deans. He's fought some good guys. Like a lot of these guys' records are 24-1, 17-0, 23-1, 26-1, 23-2, 16-2, 25-6, 15-0, 24-2. His first 2, 3, 4. Yeah, his first 5 fights, they were kind of got journeyman, and then after that, he's been fighting some really good talent. And he knocked them all out. Call it for what it is, right? So I'm definitely interested in this fight. If I have the chance, I'm definitely going to check it out. And Cal Smith isn't no joke either. Considering he's only lost to Canelo, which Canelo's like an enigma, right? It should be a good fight. So for those of you who are around on Saturday and want to watch some good fights, I would definitely check that out.
Oh yeah. Is that
Um,
fight gonna be like normal time for us, or is it gonna be like?
ESPN Plus at 7 p.m. our time, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, okay,
Saturday Night Fights. Yep.
well
It's at
that's good.
Videotron Center, Quebec City, Quebec, Canada.
Quebec.
Yeah. But
Interesting.
but the next thing I kind of wanted to get into was that Michigan versus Washington State game, man. Um,
Uh,
did I just see today that the Washington State coach is actually leaving? Did you see that? Or am I thinking it's a different
Washington.
coach?
No, that was Alabama's coach retired.
No, I know, but I think Washington State's coach is going to coach in Alabama. From what I
Oh
read,
really?
I believe so.
I didn't
I don't
see
know where I can
that.
find that. You
That
didn't
was
see that
pretty
today?
crazy though. How Nick Saban just like,
Washington's Kalen DeBoer agrees to become the next head coach at Alabama.
oh
Is that him?
wait, what was it? Say the name again. DeBoer.
DeBoer? DeBoer.
Yeah,
DeBoer, yeah.
yeah, that's him.
Yeah. So DeBoer is now the new coach at Alabama. Nick Saban retires. Um, Jim Harbaugh's on his way out of Michigan as well. You know,
Possibly, yeah.
NCAA is lurking. So get out of there. Um, we can kind of talk about that a little bit when we get into the football stuff, NFL stuff. But
Yeah.
man, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I watched the first quarter of that game, and then I was just like, okay, I'm good. Like, I put a little fluff down on Washington State, and man, what a boo boo freaking performance, dude.
I know. They just got beat. Like, just beat.
Penix's
With
offensive line just absolutely collapsed, dude. And Michigan just proved that they were a better team. I mean, you
Michigan.
know,
That was crazy.
it is what it is. Like after the first quarter, I mean, I was just like, man, dude, like what's the point? What's the point in watching this? I mean, how do you think
Yeah.
Michigan scored or Washington State didn't score in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah. They did it. They sold my play.
Oh, well, I mean, I was just surprised. I was hoping, I thought Penix would be like a first rounder after his win the week prior. But I mean, there are some quarterback needy teams, but I just don't know because I mean, if he gets drafted early, he's not going to be on a good team.
Yeah.
And with the pocket collapsing like that, I mean, look what happened to Bryce Young, who was a first round pick, but their team's so bad in Carolina that he's absolutely just getting handled this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just wanted to address that. Like I said, we weren't live the last couple weeks. We had some downtime, so I just wanted to address that, and I just thought it was really interesting because I definitely thought Washington State was going to pull up an upset and show out, but
Yep, me too. Put
it
fifty
is what it
dollars on them.
is. Oh Jesus. um, but I guess this might be a good part to kind of talk about the coaching situation. So, Arthur Smith's out in Atlanta, Pete Carroll's out of Seattle, Bill Belichick's out in New England. The Niners assistant GM is now the GM of Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
What else am I missing? Vrabel got fired, which is the weirdest thing because I didn't think they did bad considering.
Patriots just got a new coach.
Yeah, it was Dobbs.
Um,
Forget. I'll tell you right now. New England. Oh no, lie. It was Jared Mayo. Jared
Jared
Mayo got
Mayo.
hired. Yeah.
He played it. He played it for the Patriots. I think in like 2009.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was a linebacker coach or something like that.
But yeah,
Yeah,
he
that was
he took
quick.
over. He got hired. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the Niners are still in the playoffs and they're already,
Oh
signing
yeah.
people. But I was telling New York Giant Joe because he was his wife's a Raiders fan, and he was like, "Oh, Jim Harbaugh's coming to the Raiders." And one of my other coworkers was like, "Oh yeah, Jim Harbaugh's coming to the Raiders." And I was like, "Look, Jim Harbaugh is going to go to a team. This is just my opinion. So it's not, people are like, oh, well, how do you know? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just telling you my opinion. My opinion is that Jim Harbaugh is going to want to play for somebody that has a good team. I don't think he wants to rebuild. That's not really him. I mean, he came to the Niners that really had a stacked defense, and the Niners have always missed a quarterback. Like, we haven't had a quarterback, like a good solid quarterback in years. Considering statistically, our last best quarterback was Jeff Garcia. besides Purdy right now. Like that's kind of interesting. I mean, Steve Young's the last guy to win us a championship, right?
Yeah.
With Jerry Rice and T.O. So for me, I think Jim Harbaugh is going to go to Seattle. And the only reason why I say that is I think he sticks it to Jed York again because he does not like Jed York, who's our president for the Niners. And I think he signs with them because they don't have a bad team. I mean, they're not
Yeah.
great, but I mean, I don't know if he keeps Geno Smith as quarterback there, but I think
I doubt it.
that would be an interesting team where they've been coached really well with Pete Carroll, considering all things. I don't see him going to the Titans. I think that's a weird move. Derrick Henry's gone most likely, so it's like I don't see him going there. I don't see him going to Atlanta. They don't have a quarterback.
He's going to the
Um,
Chargers, bro.
see, that would be interesting. I just don't know. Like the Chargers are good on paper, right?
They
But
don't
I think it's because of
execute.
Justin Herbert, right? If Justin
Uh-huh.
Herbert's not there, they're all going to play like crap, as we saw when he got hurt, right? Um, I know Katrina and Coy are not going to be happy with me to say this, but Keenan Allen's getting old. He had a great year this year, but he's getting old.
Yeah.
And Austin Eckler regressed so hard. Whether
He's
I don't know if it
he's
was entirely
leaving,
his
bro.
fault, Eckler,
Eckler's gone.
unless they keep tagging him, dude. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
but
I mean that team is, and Mike Williams gets hurt every year. I mean
yeah,
that's the
Mike
truth.
will.
It sucks. So I don't know. That might be a team who I think is on the older end as some of their star power, and then Bosa gets hurt every year too. Joey. So I
I don't
mean,
think they bring back Bosa either. There's a whole bunch of free agents on that team actually.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're fit to win right now.
Yeah.
Like I think the best team out of everybody who has a head coach that has a head coach vacancy that hasn't been filled. I was like, oh, maybe New England. I know probably wouldn't like Mac Jones, but maybe that would do something, or maybe they could work around it. Robert Kraft, big franchise. They like
Yeah.
to win, winning culture. But to me, right now, like I think it would be Seattle, just because that's the spot that has a head coach vacancy, and their team isn't terrible. You got Kenneth Walker, you got DK Metcalf, you have Tyler Lockett, you have Zach.
Bobby
The
Wagner's
defense has
still
always
out
been
there.
pretty decent. Who?
Bobby Wagner.
Oh yeah,
Bobby Wagner.
but I
Kevon
don't see him going to the
Witherspoon.
Raiders though. Like I
Nah.
think honestly, to me, I think the best head coach for the Raiders is the guy that they hired in interim, Pierce.
Yeah, he
Like I
was pretty
think
good.
that's the Raiders culture. The team backed him. I think that's who you hire. You just keep the guy in house and keep working with it. I mean, really, the Raiders are just a quarterback away from being good. Their defense did good at the end of the year, but I just don't think their rookie gets it done. And that's no offense to him.
Aiden.
It's just that,
Yeah.
yeah, Aiden O'Connell. I just don't think that's the answer.
Yeah.
Um, but if you had a decent free agent quarterback, I don't know if there is one, but I'm just saying, like, if there was a decent free agent quarterback that can actually get the ball to Devontae consistently, you got Jacoby Myers, you got Michael Mayer, you got Josh Jacobs if he's there next year. I mean, you have a pretty good offense, and if your defense can play, I mean, you guys can definitely get into the playoffs. But Jimmy G wasn't the answer. The Niners tried telling him that, but I
That's
mean, to be
funny.
fair, I mean, I think you could put Brock Purdy on the Raiders and he wouldn't do good either. I mean, it's all about offensive line and getting a team around you. I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, that'll be interesting. But my guess, my opinion, and I gotta say it like that because people are like, well, how do you know? Who are you? And it's like, well, it's just my opinion. You don't
Yeah.
have to agree with me. I don't care if you agree with me, but I've been saying it at work all week. I think he signs with Seattle. I think that makes the most sense.
That that's not a bad whatchamacallit either. I like that.
But I heard Belichick going to the Titans, and I was like, I don't know if I agree
Uh,
with that because I don't think there's anything there for him. I could see
yeah.
Belichick in like a GM role somewhere,
Something
but
inside the team besides a head coach.
yeah, I don't see him going to the college though. I don't think that's really Belichick's
Nah.
style.
Nah.
Um, but I don't see him going to the Falcons. The Raiders would be an interesting thing. I don't know if he would be able to do that though with Chucky there. I just think it'd be a lot.
What about the Chargers for Bill Bell? The check.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. I could see Belichick or Harbaugh either going Chargers or Seattle before any of those other teams. I know Xavier's not going to like this, but the Titans are not really working with anything. Like, Will Levis looked okay, but they have no line. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And they relied on Derrick Henry, not this past year, but the year before that so much that, like, I think I said at the beginning of the year, too, I was like, he's going to regress. Like, I know it because it always happens when you have crazy stats like that.
Yeah, it
So, I
happens.
mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, your coach is good for the Rams. My coach is good for the Niners. So I mean,
Yep.
our team doesn't have a lot of free agents, so we have a lot of money that we saved with giving them bonuses. So I'm pretty excited, and we got Purdy for at least 3 more years before we have to pay him. So
On that rookie contract,
yeah, rookie contract.
poor
I
guy's
mean, he
making
probably
like,
makes it, but he probably makes it up in sponsorships and stuff. I mean, that's
yeah, no,
fine.
definitely.
I mean,
That salary's like what, 800 and something thousand?
I don't remember college players are making more than him. That's crazy.
That
So crazy.
is pretty
But
wild. That's
that's
messed up.
crazy, huh? But as we see more, we'll be posting more and seeing what's happening. Um, Man, let me tell you, there's not a lot of MMA. Like there hasn't been a fight in a couple weeks, like a big fight. But
Yeah. What is
well,
it
when the
like?
next one comes out, we'll definitely cover it. I think it's the end of January.
Yeah.
Um, but the next thing I wanted to get into is our football betting, and that's just where we go through the games and kind of take our picks, the plus minus, over under. That's something we've kind of doing, and that's one of the things that's going to be familiar to those who listen or watch our podcast. We kind of wanted to keep that the same. I mean, football season's almost over, so. But the first game Saturday at 1:30 Pacific, you got the Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans. I mean, man, Cleveland Browns at -2.5. Uh, Total 44.5. I don't know. What do you think?
I would go over and then Cleveland minus 2.5.
Really?
Yeah. I just think the experience that Joe Flacco has compared to CJ Stroud is gonna win this game.
You think the experience of Joe Flacco is what's going to beat um,
What's gonna like
Houston this
make
week?
the impact in the game? Because I mean you can't take the talent away from CJ Stroud, but I just think playoff football is a whole different atmosphere. And the Cleveland Browns are a much older team than the Houston Texans are in player wise, you
Yeah,
know?
and I think too. I think some of those guys are still hurt, and I think because of that, I think I'm going to go Cleveland. I was actually thinking of going Houston before, but I just think that with Amari Cooper and the Browns D, that I think they're going to win this week.
Yeah.
I don't know about next week, but this week for sure.
Yeah.
So I got them at -2.5, and I think it'll go over. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a good game though. I think it'll
It'll
be
be a good
competitive.
game though, yeah, for
I think it'll be
sure.
like within like 7 to 10 points, but not 2.5.
Yeah.
Um, the next game is Saturday at 5 Pacific. I'm just gonna give Pacific times. It's Miami at Kansas City. Kansas City's favored by -3.5. So and the total's 43.5. So for off the top, I'm gonna say the total's gonna go over for sure because both their defenses have been terrible. But it's supposed to be cold too in Kansas City.
Bro, it's supposed to be freezing.
But I do think it's still going to be over. I mean, they both teams have good running backs. Um, and dude, like my head says Kansas City because they're in Kansas City, but I think because of Mahomes has been playing so bad lately, I think Miami gets it done at +3.5. But I do think the
You-
total's going to be over. Yeah, I think Miami's too talented, dude. I just think they're too talented. Mahomes has nobody to throw to right now. They just double Travis, and he's getting frustrated. He shouldn't have lost to the Raiders, and forget who else he lost to. He should not have lost. They have not looked good going to playoffs.
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm a full fade.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Miami does good in freaking I don't think they just do good in that cold weather that they're gonna be playing in this week.
Well, I mean, they had a competitive game with the Bills, but I think the Bills are a better team than the Chiefs are. I mean,
Yeah.
regardless, I just think based on talent on the field, like Rasheed Rice is their best receiver, but he hasn't done anything crazy where it's like, oh yeah, that's the guy. Like I think if Mahomes had Tyreek Hill still, like it would have been a different story, right? But I think
Yeah,
just the momentum. I mean, they're both haven't done the greatest, but I don't know. I just have a feeling Miami's going to come out and stomp them. Not stomp them, but they're going to win. That's
yeah.
just my thought. Well,
Alrighty.
the next game I think it might be a little easier for the both of us. We got Pittsburgh Steelers at Buffalo Bills. That's a 10 a.m. game Pacific time, and the total is only 35.5, which is pretty low. Um, who are you taking on that game?
Well, I heard earlier today that there's going to be 65-mile-an-hour winds and a foot of snow potentially
God.
in this game. So I'm going under for sure.
Okay.
And bro, I messed up too. I was on Fliff this earlier today, and the over under was 44, and they
Ooh.
changed it all the way down to 40 to 34, 10
Hmm.
points.
Wow.
But I mean, if I were to bet on this game, I'd go Pittsburgh plus 10 because I don't think the Bills will win by more than 10.
Hmm. But you do
But
think that for money
I
line
think
reasons
I
that you
think
think the Bills are going to
Buffalo
win?
Bills are gonna win though for sure.
Okay.
I just 10 is too much in that weather.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. TJ Watt's hurt,
Yeah,
so I think for me, like I think I'm going to stick with the -10 because the Bills' run game has been pretty good this year. Josh Allen runs too. I mean, as long as they're not throwing the ball. I mean, if they throw the ball, I think they'll be okay.
yeah,
But I do think the lower on the total is fair. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. And I think that's going to be an easy win for them. I think I was reading somewhere where 91% of people think the Bills are going to beat the Steelers this week. And I think that's like the biggest game this week where
yeah,
people are like betting on the money line for the Bills.
yeah.
Um,
I saw that.
so yeah. But next game, and I think this one's going to be easy as well. We got Green Bay Packers at Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are favored at -7.5, and the total's 50.5. So I think the total is pretty high. And I think they gave him that total because of Jordan Love kind of showing out, but he's only done that against boo-boo teams. I mean, he played the Bears last week. Like, let's all not overreact here and start freaking out. And like, I think Cowboys are going to beat him by more than 7.5. Like, I'm taking, and they're in Dallas, and Dallas hasn't lost in Dallas this year. So,
Wait, they're actually
yeah,
undefeated at home?
yeah,
What?
yeah. So I'm taking the under on that, and I'm taking Cowboys at -7.5. People are like, "Oh, remember last time, Des Bryant?" Yeah, but the Packers had Aaron Rodgers. The Packers have freaking Jordan Love right now. And if you're a listener to the podcast, you know I do not like Jordan Love. Like, not as a person, I'm just saying, like as a quarterback and for fantasy, he's not my cup of tea. He's just too all over the place. And the fact, like my wife, who is a Green Bay fan, like doesn't even want them to be in the playoffs because she's like, it's literally going to be a first round exit. Like, what's the point? Is essentially what she was saying. And I was like, well, at least you're being realistic about it. Unlike some people that we'll find out later, where they're kind of going to be unrealistic about their brackets. And those who are listening can hear about that in a second. But yeah, I mean, I think Dallas is just going to absolutely blow them out. I think Dak sits the last half of the fourth quarter.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'll go under. I think that's too high. But if I already placed a bet on this game and I put Green Bay -7.5 or plus 7.5 because I don't think they
Like,
lose by that much.
oh, you think it's going to be closer?
Yeah, but
Their defense
realistically,
has
I
been
think
pretty atrocious this year. Just they were good
yeah,
early, and then yeah.
and then realistically, I think Dallas is gonna win. So
Yeah. Next game, I'm gonna start first because I know it's your team, so I'm gonna let you kind of. I'll go first, and that way you can talk your shit. We got the Los Angeles Rams and Detroit Lions -3.5. The total's 51.5, which is the highest of the week. Which I don't think it's gonna be that high. I think that's really high. No, I think the Detroit Lions have a good defense, and you guys have a pretty decent defense too. I think it'll be a lot closer than people think. But I'm taking you guys at +3.5. But I am taking the under on that.
all right, that's not bad. I mean, I pretty much agree with you on all of that.
But
Wait,
this
no.
is
Actually, I don't. I think it's gonna go over. Sorry.
you think it's gonna go over?
Yeah, I don't. I just think the situation that both quarterbacks are in is just meant for for a shootout.
I mean, I think that's where like the drama is. It's like, oh, the Rams traded for Jared Goff or traded Jared Goff to the Lions for Stafford, and um, also I kind of want to get into that too because I remember I sent you a thing on TikTok and you're like, no, the NFL's not rigged, and I'm like, I'm not saying it's rigged. I just think it's interesting. Like, what are
It
the
is.
odds
Yeah.
that all these games are intertwined somehow based on like trades and matchups and coaching? It's really interesting how they got it all exactly like right.
Yeah.
It's a little weird, but I mean, hey, this is your moment to talk your shit. So hype up your Rams. You tell me, like
No, I don't know, cause I'm not sure about this game, bro. I don't know. Like,
this. I think this is the most winnable game that you guys had the odds of because you guys were either going to be 6 or 7. I think this
yeah,
game's easier for you than Cowboys, and I thought you guys could beat the Cowboys at home. And
yeah,
I mean, that's us being a divisional rival. I'm just saying, like, I think you guys have a good team. You guys have championship experience. You guys might not have all those players, but you guys have a good team. And as long as everyone's healthy, you're cool. Like, as long as
yeah,
Cooper Kupp can play and Puka can play, like, you have a great receiving core. You have a good running back. Stafford's experience. Like, you guys have all that going for you. Um, and the Cowboys would have been harder, but I think you guys can beat Detroit. Detroit is beatable.
yeah. That's and then another thing going back to the over is that's I feel like that's the type of game it's gonna be because Detroit's a high they live off that one deep ball play and but then as us we march down the field and then try to get points. So
But Detroit has a good run defense. That's what's I think is surprising is they.
yeah,
It's weird because when they play divisional games, like they can lose to the division like by a lot, and it's so weird how that happens. But um, they have a good defense. Like it's a lot better than I think people think. Um, and their stats have shown that. So that's why for me I was like I think it's under because you guys I've always had a good defense for like the longest time. And you
hmm
guys' offense is good too, and I think that's what makes you guys like a dark horse this year in playoffs. Um, but like I said, had you guys lost to us, I think you guys could have beat the Cowboys, and I would rather have played you guys than the Cowboys later on down the line, if that makes sense.
yeah, I know for
And I think
sure.
you guys could have beat them. So, but we'll see what happens. That's probably the
Um,
game I'm gonna watch because even though it's my game day, like Sunday Night Football, dude, like we might have to be FaceTiming during that game, dude. You might have to put a headphone in and talk to me.
nah,
I mean,
because
I'm
you're about
going
to
for you.
call me if they're down,
I'm
bro.
I'm going for you guys. I mean, I'm not going for Detroit. So,
That place is gonna be rocking, bro. First playoff game, home playoff game in 30 years.
oh, dude, M's probably going to be there, dude. The rap god. But
Crazy.
last game for the first week of playoffs, we got Philly -3 at Tampa Bay. The total's 44.5. That's the third highest. I'll let you start this one off since I went off on the first two or the last two.
Oh, I thought you said I'm gonna go.
No,
Sorry,
I'll let you go since I went on the
sorry,
last two.
sorry, sorry.
No, you're good.
So I think this game is gonna go under 44 and a half,
Yep.
and I think Tampa Bay comes up with an upset.
Okay.
I
Well,
think they,
I do think
yeah,
it's going to go under, but I do think the Eagles are going to win by 3 for sure. They're hurt, they're banged up, but Tampa Bay is not that good. They barely beat the Panthers 9-0. Divisional game or not. Yeah, I just like I felt bad for Mike Evans. I mean, they've won, so I mean, but you got Mike Evans, you got Godwin, who's had a weird up and down year. Rashid White's good, but they're not the same team, dude. I mean, without Brady, and I mean Baker
yeah,
Mayfield's doing what he can, but nah, I think Eagles win. But I don't think Eagles are as strong as a team as would say once they were, heading into the last couple weeks of the regular season. Jalen hurt, no pun intended, got hurt. His finger was all jacked up. He's going to be playing, but I just don't. Honestly, dude, to call it what it is. Besides Green Bay, I think Tampa Bay is like the easiest match for anybody here. So, I mean, call it for what it is. The NFC South is probably the weakest division in the NFC right
Oh
now.
yeah, that's definitely the
So
weakest division.
it didn't matter if it was the Saints or if it was the Falcons or if it was Tampa Bay. Like I didn't care. Didn't matter who it was. Either the Cowboys or the Eagles were going to beat them, in my opinion. So that's why I went that
Yeah.
way. But either way, that is week 1 of playoffs, and we'll come back for week 2 and so
yeah.
on. But I kind of wanted to do something fun, something a little different. And let me see if I can get it on the screen here so we can kind of fill it in and see what we think. I know you're going to feel a certain kind of way because you already told me and I don't agree with you, but I'm going to let you do your thing. We'll do yours first and we'll go on to mine. So, Houston, Cleveland, you said Cleveland, right?
Yeah, Cleveland.
And then you said Kansas City.
KC.
And then you said Buffalo.
Buffalo.
So then I actually have to fix this because then we have 2 and 3. Oh, no, that's right. We're good.
Yeah.
So it'd be Baltimore and Cleveland, Kansas City. That's weird. Kansas City and Buffalo. So I'm assuming you think Baltimore's going to beat Cleveland?
Baltimore and Buffalo.
You think Buffalo beats Kansas City?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll go here. So we got you said Tampa?
Tampa.
And you said
LA.
I know you're going to go Rams. And you're going to go Dallas. So then that's going to be 2 and... No, it'd be Rams here. It'd be Tampa here. And then I already know what you're going to say, and I don't agree with you. You said the Rams are going to beat the Niners.
Dallas is going to beat.
And then Dallas.
This is literally all of this is about to happen, and you're about to be
And you're saying the Rams are going to go to the Super Bowl
against Buffalo,
playing in Dallas, who hasn't lost in Dallas all year. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you said Baltimore, I'm assuming, is going to beat the Bills.
Yeah.
And then you're saying the champions are going to be the Rams.
Yes.
Okay, well, respectfully, if you guys end up beating us, huh?
Said hella biased.
Yeah, I think Baltimore wins. And so this is your bracket, and if people want to screenshot this and make fun of Bebo, this is what it's for. I'm gonna go ahead and try to... I think I have to close. No, I'm gonna just clear it real quick. It's just gonna be faster for me to clear it. Well, it won't be faster, but I should have had 2, but that's my bad.
That's all good.
Okay, so I'm thinking Miami's gonna win, which would actually put them up here against Baltimore. So I say it's Miami. I think I spelled it right. And then we're gonna have Cleveland play the Buffalo. Buffalo beats Cleveland. Baltimore beats Miami. Baltimore beats Buffalo. I think here we got Philly. But it doesn't matter because it's going to actually, I think the Rams are going to win. So I'm thinking Rams. We're going to have Philly here based on seeding and Dallas. That's going to be a good game, Dallas and Philly. I'm going to take Dallas just because they're playing at home. I'm taking San Fran. Cisco. I was going to put SF. It's easier. Taking San Fran. And then I think we can beat Dallas at home. We already have. I just think our defense is too good. And this one's going to be surprising for those, especially, I'm a Niners fan, but based off our last couple of meetings, and if I had to bet on it, I think Baltimore is going to beat us again. They just have our number. We have a really bad time against running quarterbacks. I think the game will be a little closer than last time, but I think Lamar is just having a year. And the only reason why this would change is if Baltimore gets knocked out because Lamar gets hurt. And honestly, it's a Lamar game. Like their quarterbacks aren't that good. OBJ's good, but he's kind of getting older. He's injury prone. And because Lamar's good on his feet, Gus Edwards is able to get the ball and move more and gain some yards, and it kind of opens everything up. But like Baltimore's defense has been like top tier, dude. And I think that for me is what the difference maker is. And like San Francisco has a great defense, but Baltimore knows how to play against Purdy, which is I've been kind of saying since season one, is where you pressure him, and if he throws, you jump because he's not a very big quarterback. And you tip the ball, and that's what all his interceptions came from, was basically tip balls.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's how you beat Purdy. I mean, he's a year two quarterback. No quarterback likes to be pressured, and I think Baltimore's going to win.
Yeah.
So, on Flip, I'm going to put a $5 bet for San Francisco, but I'm probably going to put a $5 bet for Baltimore because I think they're going to win.
Baltimore has no value, bro.
But I think they're going to win. I think they have the best team.
Yeah.
Niners they have studs and everything, but Lamar, for whatever reason, which I can't even figure out how and why, just is the difference maker. It's just his legs. He's so quick, and he's a lot more accurate this year than he's been in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's probably going to win MVP, and I think Tyreek should get it, or Christian McCaffrey, and the Christian McCaffrey one's not the bias thing. It's just more of Christian McCaffrey's really good at running the ball, and he's really good at pass catching, and I think that's why he should be considered. Xavier says this a lot, though, where he says, if another quarterback wins, start calling it the QB award, because that's who wins this has been winning the MVP is the QB.
Same with the Rookie of the Years.
Yeah.
Only QBs win Rookie of the Years.
I don't think any quarterback's going to win Rookie of the Year this year, though.
Bro, they're going to give it to CJ Stroud.
There's better rookies, though.
Yeah, no, that's why I bring it up, because realistically, I don't know. I mean,
Puka Nacua should win Rookie of the Year. I think that's
what I wanted to say.
Hands down. That's hands down. I think that's pretty what everyone is thinking. Like, I know that's biased from you because you're a Rams fan, but I mean, as a Niners fan, like, yeah, Puka has been your stud. When Cooper Kupp went down, he was the one who kind of kept you guys in games, and I mean, he broke the rookie receiving record, right?
Yeah, he broke the receptions and the yards.
So I mean, to me, it's like, I think that's why wouldn't you give it to him? Like, it's not even giving it to him. I think he's earned it. I think he's earned that, at least. Like, he deserves to win that. And I think the offensive player of the year will either be Tyreek or like if they give it to Lamar. That's not even giving, because Lamar deserves it too. Like, he went off this year. But like, if Lamar wins MVP, then I think Tyreek or Christian McCaffrey will get like offensive player of the year.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but that they should call that the QB award if another QB wins.
I think they just need to make a QB award at this point.
Yeah.
But I think this week, since our money line parlay, it's a little off. I think I'll just leave that to the people to do that based on how they want. There's not very many games. There's 6 games this week.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, no.
Do what you.
Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, you got 6, and then next week there's 4. So yeah, do what you will with that. And the last thing I kind of wanted to do was kind of address. So our Don't Be a Larry, I think it's still going to be called that on our TikTok, but I think we've been transitioning more into a like don't be that guy, or calling it like don't be what's your friend's name? I forget already.
Vic?
No, the one that messaged me. Don't be a Dylan. Like, I think those will be more of like when we're addressing certain people, like friends of ours and stuff. Don't Be a Larry was basically a running joke based on a guy who came into the league, kind of caused a little mini scene and left. And basically it's like a don't be a Karen. We're just kind of making fun of him. But, we don't talk to him. And I think don't be that guy is more fitting, considering a lot of our stuff is more anonymous. However, I don't think we're going to be doing those on our show, just due to time and whatnot. So I think we're actually going to be filming those separate and just posting them to our TikTok and our YouTube. So TikToks and YouTube Shorts. And we're going to kind of use our episodes more to talk about football, talk about boxing, talk about MMA. And then we're going to be focusing on our interviews. And that's kind of the next thing and the very last thing I wanted to talk about. So I know we have for sure 2 interviews lined up. one's promising and one is for sure going to happen. So we're going to be doing an interview with Eric Tafoya, who does armored combat. And for those of you who don't know what armored combat is, it's a sport. It's almost like I would kind of compare it to like medieval fighting. But I don't know all the rules and stuff, and that's why I'm going to have him come on and kind of explain the sport, show you some clips. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of fitness involved to be, wearing heavy armor because it's real armor with blunt weapons, and it's a pretty cool, interesting sport. There's some takedowns, and it's not like in a cage or anything, but you're in a ring, wooden fenced in arena, and you fight, and it's pretty dope. And I think it'd be definitely something new to cover and definitely eye opening for a lot of people to see. And then also, I know Bevo is friends with a fighter. I don't want to say his name until it's confirmed. Really good up and coming. He's what, 2-0-1, 3-0-1,
2-0-1.
2-0-1 with 2 knockouts, right?
Yeah, 2
So
knockouts.
we're gonna bring him on. And if anybody wants us to interview anybody specific, please let us know. I am trying to confirm some bigger fighters, but we got to keep growing, got to keep getting bigger, and that's definitely the plan. So we're gonna just keep on our grind and putting content out, and and also feel free to reach out, hit us up, message us, comment. Like, we're always down to check out new sports or look into new things. I won't cover hockey though, because I have been getting a lot of requests from New York Giants Joe to cover hockey, but I don't really know a lot about hockey. Growing up in California in the Central Valley, you don't really have a lot of ice, so hockey's not really a thing over here. I mean, people play it and do it, but it's not really. I can't give you an opinion on it because I don't know it enough. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you.
The only thing I like about hockey is when they drop the gloves.
Start swinging. Into a combat sport. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Like I said, season 2, episode 1. We're gonna kind of selectively be making episodes and whatnot, but like I said, we want to do more interviews, so that's going to be our primary focus. But until next time, thanks for watching. Peace.